Hello everyone, welcome to lecture number 30. Okay, we have completed all the fundamental right aspects, even the writs respect to the jurisdictions and all. We have completed that. Now we are proceeding to the part 4. Part 3 was our fundamental right, we have covered it. Now we are going to discuss about the part 4. Part 4 of our constitution, that is nothing but directive principles of state policy. Okay, and this contains, this part 4 is present from article 36 to 51. Okay, we have covered till article number 35. Okay, now we are proceeding for part 4. So what exactly do we understand by this DPSP? Is it enforceable in the court or not, or mere it's just a suggestion for the state government? What exactly is that? We are going to see all the aspects here. Okay, so those principles which a state must keep in mind while enacting the policies was mentioned under the article uh, was mentioned under this section, whatever the article that we are going to study in this part 4. Okay, and the definition of the state is already mentioned under the article 12. Okay, so what is the motive of this DPSP? The motive of the DPSP is that it talks about the principles which a state must keep in mind while enacting the policies. And this definition of a state we have seen in which article? Article number 12, that is present under the part 3 of the constitution. Okay, so it just provide the principles. Like whenever, let us suppose a government has come and government want to make a policy, so whatever the policy that they are going to make, it must be on the line of part 4. Okay, so we'll proceed what is present under the article 36, what it tells. Article 36 talks about the definition of the state, which is same as the part 3 of article 30 of article 12. So whatever the definition that we have seen in article 12, the same thing has been defined here in the article 36. It talks about the definition of the state, which is same as the part 3 of the article 12. Okay, so now this article 36 is okay. Now what is present under the article 37 to 51, what it tells? See, we have already discussed what the state means. The state is all the government public bodies, like even the State Bank of India. When we are telling, that is also, that can also be called a state. This state word is not a unification of India term, that state of Bihar, state of Jharkhand. No, state will be all the public bodies and all that will be included under it. Okay, please go through my previous lecture of the fundamental right, starting lecture of, I guess, in the 28.1 only you will find the definition of it and more explanation on that part. Okay, so what is this article 37 to 51? Article 37 to 51, it contains positive obligation of the state. When we started learning the fundamental right, we got to know that fundamental right was negative obligation. It was negative obligation that a state must not do, a state cannot do, like that things were given. But this DPSP, it contains the positive obligations. it contains the positive obligations of the state. Okay, and it has been borrowed from this 37 to 51, it has been borrowed from Irish constitution. It has been borrowed from the Irish constitution, and they, this Irish constitution, they borrowed it from Spanish constitution. Okay, so ultimately whatever we are reading in the fundamental duties are from the Spanish constitution. For exam will mention, we can mention that it has been borrowed from Irish constitution and they borrowed it from the Spanish constitution. Okay, now question arises, what is, we are telling too much directive principle of state policies and all. What are these directive principle of state policies? What exactly do we mean by that? What are DPSPs? What do we mean by that? Okay, so yes, see, DPSP has been emerged from the constitutional form of government. It has been, it is only this DPSP is eligible, this point, this DPSP, this section is eligible only to the constitutional form of, if the government is type of constitutional form of government is running in your country, then only this DPSP will be there. Okay, so DPSP has been emerged, it has been taken birth, it has been emerged from the constitutional form of government. Okay, now second thing, it denotes the idea, it denotes the ideals that a state should keep in mind while formulating the policies and enacting laws. What I have said in the mention, that it contains the positive obligation. Positive obligation means what? It is telling that a state should do this, a state should do that. Okay, should do, and fundamental right was the what? A state should not do this, a state should not do that. Okay, that is the difference. So it, this DPSP denotes, it denotes the ideals that the state, it denotes the ideal that the state should keep in mind, state should keep in mind while formulating policies and enacting laws. Okay, so whenever the law is going to be made by the state, a state can be anything, even the government bodies, officials, offices, even the state government, all will be considered under it. So it denotes the ideals that the state should keep in mind. Whatever the thing is mentioned under the DPSPs, a state should keep all these points while formulating the policies and enacting any new laws. DPSPs have been emerged along with the emergence of the constitutional form of government. Okay, so it emerged from the constitutional form of government that we have already mentioned. From where this DPSP, when the constitution runs, there were certain needs and requirements that were coming in over a period of time. Like currently we are shifting to artificial intelligence, digital world. Okay, so as per that also there is a need of change in many digital related laws and all, data related stuff and all. Okay, so this, in those cases DPS are getting evolved also over a period of time, and DPSPs are emerging from that emergence of this constitutional form of government. Okay, so it emerged from the constitutional form of government that we have discussed. Okay, now it the primary objective of this DPSP, the only primary objective of this DPSP is to establish a welfare state, to establish a welfare state, okay, and not a laissez-faire state as per the requirement people used to twist and all. So that kind of thing should not be there. It should be a welfare state, okay. So this was all about for regarding that DPSP. We'll discuss more about the properties and all in coming session. So now we have understood till now in this lecture that what exactly is this DPSP, what was the motive of it, this DPSP, what articles it contains, what is the exactly the, we are going to have a complete session where we are going to discuss the difference between the DPSP and fundamental right. But currently overall we have seen that the main difference between DPSP and that fundamental right, the fundamental right was related to the negative obligation and DPSP was related to the positive obligation that a state should do, state should do that things and all. So we are going to discuss in details in the coming session. And DPSPs have emerged from the constitutional form of government. It denotes that a state should keep in mind whatever the things are mentioned in the DPSP, the state should keep it in mind whenever the law has been enacted or policy is going to be formed. And the primary objective of this is to establish a welfare state, not a laissez-faire state. Laissez-faire state means like the policies of allowing private business to develop without government control. So there should not be like a private entity is there but nobody is going to control you, okay. That kind of thing should not be there. Even if you are a private entity, you must be under the control of the government, and there are communities and all where there are checks and balances always going to take place for such organization. Even in the private organization is there, yes, you are free to do, but you will be under check that you are not doing anything that is completely not with the Constitution of India now, okay. So the policy whatever is going to be made, the policy of allowing private businesses also should be there, but to develop it should be without government control. That cannot be done. It should be a welfare state at any case. It should not be a laissez-faire state, okay. So this was all about in this lecture. Thank you.